Paris, San Bernardino, Jerusalem, Brussels. It seems not a day goes by without another murderous assault on innocent civilians. Last Sunday bore witness to one of the most horrific attacks in recent memory as a Taliban-affiliated group bombed a park in Lahore, Pakistan, killing scores of women and children celebrating the Easter holiday. These attacks only seem to be getting more brazen, more coordinated, and more effective. People all over Europe are worried, and with good reason. It seems governments all throughout the European continent have been ill-prepared to deal with the growing threat of radical Islamic terrorism. Please note, I once again said radical Islamic terrorism and not all Muslims. I think I've done that once or twice before. This distinction is becoming increasingly exhausting to have to point out, but one I continue to make. Unfortunately, many on the right refuse to separate the nominal average person from the radicals, and many on the left refuse to acknowledge there are a few of us who do make that distinction over and over. While I've now conceded that the far left will never accept any good faith critique of Islam and will always excuse and sometimes even endorse its terrorism, I know that many good people are waking up to this nonsense every day. This is one of the themes the Rubin Report has been all about, and I'm glad to say that we're ahead of the curve on it. So one more time, it is radical Islamists, a subset of people who believe in Islam, who are blowing up airports, trains, and parks. They don't care whether the people they murder are men or women, grandparents or children, black or white. They want to sow chaos and destruction in the name of their religion. Don't take my word for it, by the way. Read the statements the jihadists issue after each terror attack. These statements are all filled with religious reasons, quoting doctrine to kill infidels and non-believers. This is a good time to remind people, once again, what a religion is. It is a set of ideas. A religion isn't built into you like your sex or your color. A religion is just a bunch of ideas only made a reality by people who practice its beliefs. Any set of ideas is worthy of critique, whether these ideas are religious, political, or personal. So if you would be against throwing gays off roofs, making women wear burqas, and treating minorities as second-class citizens if a political party had those ideas in its platform, then you must be against those ideas when a religion has them in its doctrine. And for the billionth time, this doesn't mean you should be bigoted against all people who practice that faith, because there are a multitude of ways of being part of any faith. What it does mean, however, is that at the very least, you must be against the ideas that you would be against if they came from anywhere else besides religion. Actually, you should be much braver than just being against bad ideas. You should emphatically stand for good ideas, or one day the violence you silently condone will be at your doorstep. This is why the regressive left is so dangerous. They've tricked decent people with good intentions into thinking that their legitimate fears about terrorism are somehow bigoted or racist. Not only is this pure nonsense, but it has also fueled the rise of the right-wing parties in Europe and Donald Trump here in America. The ideas of the regressive left have gone from wrong to malicious. Screaming about the Crusades every time there is a jihadist attack is pointless. Focusing on one random atheist who committed a mass shooting is irrelevant. These regressives are trying to guilt and confuse you into accepting their backwards thinking. We in the West, fortunately, can't stand up to jihadists face to face, but we absolutely must stand up to those in our own societies who will excuse people who would kill us due to their misguided sense of protecting a religion. Ironically, this disease of the mind, which regressive thinking really is the furthest thing from progressive values, but also is an added bonus for the jihadists. They can kill scores of people, and then their Western allies will do mental gymnastics to excuse and explain why they did it. The more the jihadists say it's about religion, the more the regressives say it isn't. Generally, I find jihadists to be more honest than regressive, so I'm going to take their word for it. The world is at a precarious point. We can debate how much foreign policy has enabled jihadists or whether America's toppling of Saddam Hussein led to ISIS. Of course, we can go much further back in history to the British Empire or the Ottoman Empire or even further. These blood feuds have gone on for thousands of years and will probably go on until after we're all gone. The question is, will we in Western societies now stand together and no longer accept excuses for terror? If you feel the need to make an excuse when a bomb goes off in a Paris theater, you're inviting terrorism to your farmer's market in Los Angeles. People will always have a grievance, and if you tell them that it's acceptable to murder innocents because of your Western guilt or misguided sense of justice, then you are condemning yourself to a world where there are no rules. We will all live between terrorists trying to kill us and authoritarians who will promise us safety. It's a false choice, but it's exactly where we are headed if good people won't stand up now. I'm not sure how many jihadists watch this show, but I'm pretty sure many good and decent people do. Start calling out this regressive thinking in your own world. Stop being cowed by false cries of racism or bigotry. Start beating their self-flagellation with the truth about why Western society is good. The Islamists are in bed with liars and regressive con men. Their ideas will spread faster if we don't wake up now. And if you think this is a job for someone else, then this evil alliance has already won. I don't think it has, but I know we need more vocal allies. One such ally is my guest this week, Julie Lenars. Julie is a terrorism expert and director of the Human Security Center in London. She's on the front lines of calling out radical Islam for the danger that it is. I'm looking forward to talking to her about some difficult topics, and maybe I'll even ask her about those pesky Crusades. Remember, if you're still upset about the Crusades, which happened 1,000 years ago, then you should be at least equally upset about the ones happening right now.